I've decided to go cold turkey to quit smoking. You know, I've decided to go cold turkey and just do it this time. Now, here's what typically happens. It's very honourable. I think it's very noble. And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Like, you know, I'm just going to make a decision and I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to stop smoking now. I'm just going to quit smoking today. But here's the thing. Most people fail when they go cold turkey. All right. And they fail when they go cold turkey purely because what they're doing is they're not approaching it in a systematic, scientific way. Okay, they're not following a particular procedure that's going to work. You know, I was out with a friend of mine, Thomas, last night, and he was explaining, as we're going for a run, that there is a very, very good way to improve your running skills. Okay, to be able to go further distances, to be healthier, to be able to go, you know, do more than you did before. And I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just turning up running on a whim or on a wish. It's not just saying, oh, I can do this now, and turning up with any old pair of trainers without stretching. It's not turning up without any water or without any nutrition. It's not without having a plan in place of what you are going to do at certain points along your journey, particularly if you're going to do a half marathon or a marathon or an ultra marathon. All right, you need to have a plan. And the thing is, this may not sound the most sexy thing in the world, to have a plan to succeed, but the reason that people succeed is because they have a plan and they do things systematically. All right. For example, when you run, it's very typical that you'll lose a certain amount of water every hour. Could be a litre, it could be a litre and a half. It'll depend on the person. So if you're running for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours and you don't have a hydration process in place, what's going to happen? Well, you're not going to be very successful in your efforts. At some point, the laws of physics are going to work against you, the laws of biology, the laws of science. And it's exactly the same with stopping smoking, okay? I've worked for over 2 decades with people internationally, globally, to help them quit smoking permanently, to quit smoking for good. In my opinion and in my experience, following like this, it can be a very straightforward, simple, reliable process. And my clients will tell you so as well, okay? Before we dive in though, what are people to, you know, those people who want to go cold turkey, what do they typically do? They'll say things like, oh, you know, I'm not smoking as much, but I ran out of cigarettes an hour ago. I'm fighting really hard not to get to the store to buy another pack. You know, I've done all the nicotine replacement therapy, hasn't helped. I've done the patch, the gums, the lozenges. You know, my doctor wants me to do the patch and the lozenges together, so I'm giving that another try. I'm trying to stay strong, but I've been dealing with a lot of stress lately. So I'm taking tomorrow, I'm just going to go out and relax. And what happens? You know, what happens to people? Listen, 3 to 6% of people only quit without assistance. Without some kind of assistance, the available data shows that only 3 to 6% of people will be successful long term. That's pretty small odds. I mean, why would you start something that has a 3 to 6% rate of success? All right, and part of that is not having a plan in place. So I'll talk about the plan that you need to have to quit smoking in a moment. Okay, now, can a person go cold turkey and quit smoking? Absolutely. In 3 to 6% of cases, people can do that. All right, but there's a big problem. First of all, it's a small number of people. Secondly, because there's so many people who smoke globally and so many people who smoke in your country, even though it's a relatively small percentage of the population, there will still be hundreds of thousands, millions of people who are smoking. And what this means is that it will look as though those people are stronger or have some magic, or they can do it, and if they can do it, you should be able to do it. Okay, and most people, in my opinion, so in my experience, can't do that. Most people in my experience struggle with this. Okay, and what happens is that all the rest of the people around them live with regret, a sense of guilt, a sense of shame. Okay, and so They're just relying on willpower and cold turkey to quit. And of course, that doesn't work. Not for the majority of people. Yes, there'll be a few people who manage to quit doing that, okay, but not the majority. And if you have any doubts, just look around, just look in your life and look around at the people around you and look at all the people who are smoking out there. Do you think those people would smoke if they had the choice? If they could genuinely choose not to be spending, here in the UK, over £12 a day for a pack of 20 cigarettes, or to be able to go out with their friends and just socialise and breathe fresh air again, do you think if they had the choice that they would choose to do that habit? Okay, so there is a problem in that some people can quit smoking by going cold turkey. And what happens is the people around them, it can look like that's the best way to do it. All right, but remember, only 3 to 6% of people will succeed without having some kind of external support. You only have to look at the number of people who are smoking. And what happens is that approaching it without a plan just leads to frustration. In fact, what it leads is to, in many cases, is just giving up even trying to quit because you've tried so many times and failed. So what do we want to do instead? Okay, look, instead of going cold turkey, you want to put a plan in place first of how you're going to approach this, okay? The first thing to do, and remember, the reason to do this is to turn it into reliable science. Use the clues of success, all right, from people who have been successful and the mindsets, the people who've gone through this process and managed to quit. Go through and use that, because you can really, really increase your odds of making it success to quit smoking now. So there's 4 things to do. The first is have a strong reason. The second is to intensify emotion and activate your subconscious. The third is to identify the external and internal triggers. And the fourth is to get support. Have support to quit smoking now. So let's look at the turning this into a reliable science. The first step is always going to be to have a strong personal reason. Why? Because without a strong connection, without this strong internal visceral connection, without a strong reason, why are you going to do it? Why are you going to get up in the morning and do this? Why are you going to approach this? Why are you going to make yourself really go for it? What's going to keep you going through the challenges, through any tough times? What's going to motivate you to start to do the other steps that are going to get you to where you need to go to? Okay? If you're going to make a change, if you're going to change a habit, the first thing is have a strong reason. And I encourage you to think about that, feel it, write it down. What's the underlying reason that's so powerful for you that you just got to get this done? Once you've got a strong reason to quit, now you can start leveraging the power of your unconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious knows all the words that you've learnt in your language. It knows how to speak a language, maybe multiple languages. It knows how to, you know how to walk, you know how to talk. When you go to sleep, you know how to breathe without thinking. During the day, you know how to breathe. At night, you go to sleep, you don't even have a conscious mind. And your conscious, mind, remember, is where willpower resides, and it's very limited. And you don't need to rely on that. You want to rely on something more powerful. So the strong emotion of your subconscious will power your strong reason. Then it's a case of identifying the times during the day when you are smoking. What are the things that are triggering? Is it after a meal? Is it when you're bored? What are those things? List them and write them down. And then get some support. Find someone who can help you. Find a program that can help you. Because if you don't get any help to quit smoking, what's going to happen? You're going to stay stuck. You're going to have regret. Statistically, you're not going to succeed. And all you're going to have left is willpower and cold turkey. Get some support, get some help, and make a change now.